Greetings to another video. Today's video is going to be all about how to actually train with a power meter. I've done so many videos on why I found my power meter anyway, just to be an amazing piece of equipment to improve my fitness over the years, which it completely has done. So I want to kind of get a bit more in depth of how you can train with a power meter. If you're thinking of getting one or you already have one, you're just like, what do I even do with it? So the first thing I would say is, once it's on your bike, just go out and just ride and just kind of keep an eye on the numbers. Don't worry about what they mean, but just go out and just have a look at, when you're on a steady pace, what are the numbers showing? When you're going a little bit harder, what are they? Do a bit of an effort up a climb or something and see what your numbers look at. Just basically get an idea of what your numbers are, just get a feel for them. And then what you're going to want to do is do a functional threshold power test. You've probably heard the words FTP thrown around all over the place. I've done so many videos about them. And that basically is, it's a 20-minute test going all out. I mean, don't go too hard at the start that you can't finish the 20-minute test, but you need to go pretty hard, just basically as hard as you can go for 20 minutes. And yeah, what that will do is, I'm just trying to explain it, sorry. So basically, let me get this straight. So functional threshold power, your FTP number is 95% of the total number for that 20 minutes. And what that number represents is what you could potentially really hold for an hour. And there's lots of different things, basically saying, people saying, is it efficient? Is it worth it? But that's how I did it, and that's how most people, maybe all people, sort their training. I mean, you can do a 5 second, 1 minute and 5 minute test as well that will help with that. But for now, I think it's just the most basic thing to do is do a 20-minute test. So go and find like a long road or a climb that you can do for 20 minutes and without stopping, because if you stop, it's going to completely skew all the power data. So continuous 20-minute effort. Then, once you have got your number for your 20-minute effort, then what you're going to want to do is head over to this website. I'm going to show you now. So this is completely free. I'm going to put a link to this below. So basically, yeah, it's British Cycling. I just think it's a really good resource. So what you need to do is go on to the Power Zone calculator, put in your average power for that 20 minutes. Mine was 279. A weight in kilos, 66 kilos. And then calculate it. And what that's going to do is going to tell you all your different individual training zones, because that's what, when you're training, you need to know what those different zones are, or at least know your numbers for those zones. So once you've done that, that tells you what your watts are for each zone. So each power zone, it goes 1 to 6, excuse me. And yeah, so my active recovery is anything under 145 watts. Endurance pace 145 to 201, tempo 201 to 238, sweet spot 233 to 246. Yeah, actually there's 7. I thought there were 7 different training zones. Sweet spot 233 to 246, threshold. What I'm going to give you a bit of homework to do. Go and have a look at individually what all those mean. So my FTP is 265 watts per kilo, 4.02, and yeah, so now you've got your training zones. What do you do with those numbers? Right, have a look at some different training plans. You can get coached and they're going to kind of work with that. Or you can have a look online for some free ones. So I've been trying to find the best ones, and Cycling Weekly have done a really good, seems really good anyway, with quite a few different options. So I'll put a link to this as well below if you're interested. So I've clicked on the beginner one just to see what it's like. So this one is block 1, building basic volume. So what you need to do is look at these. So this says 60-minute ride. So ride on the border of zone 2 and zone 3, 3A, I think it just means that the start of zone 3 throughout. Stay around 90 to 95 RPM. RPM is, it's basically how many pedal turns you do in a minute. And then apart from 5 times 5 minutes at 70. So if this was me and I was doing between zone 2 and 3A, I would need to ride for 60 minutes between 145 to I'd say at the start of that's 201. So yeah, no, 145. I'd kind of go in the half of that. So I'd do 145 to 210, 210 maybe, because that's like the start of zone 3. So 145 to 210 and do that for 60 minutes. And that's as simple as it is basically. I think at the start it can be quite daunting because you're like, oh, I've just been, and that, I felt like that because when I started having a specific plan, I was like, oh, I don't want to just specifically ride in like set training zones. But if you want to improve, that is what improves your fitness. I have found it immensely valuable to be able to do that, and my just everything is improved. So I'm a big advocate for training, but equally, if you don't want to, don't get so bogged down in it that you don't enjoy riding your bike anymore. Like, I love both aspects of it. I love training and having a specific plan, but equally, I love going out with my mates at the weekend, just going on a spin round the peaks, and it not being about numbers. So yeah, I think that is pretty much the basics of how to train with a power meter. I mean, I could say to you, oh, this is my specific plan, but what works for me is not going to work for you because I have things that I want to do and like specific ride goals. So I actually want to try and do endurance and equally doing races. So I've got like a bit of a mixture of things. But yeah, that is the basics. I'll put the links in the description, and hopefully that has helped kind of unravel how to train with a power meter. So yeah. The other thing that you could do if you don't want to have a specific plan is, and this is kind of what I did at the start, I should have said this at the start, I basically just did it on climb. So I wasn't doing anything specific like in the week, but if I was going to go and do an effort up a climb, I would use my power meter to pace. So if you just want to do it for climbs and that's all you're really that bothered about, so for me, I basically did a full out effort, looked at those numbers, and then the next time just tried to increase those numbers slightly. So you could just do that, but it's going to be quick. If you want to get a faster time on that climb, it's going to make it quicker for you if you are doing the stuff in the week. So yeah. So I reckon that is it for this video. If you've got any more tips on training with a power meter, then leave them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, then consider subscribing. You get to see my face if you subscribe. Well, you get to see it anyway if you click on the video, but you'll get notifications if you subscribe, and I would really appreciate it. So yeah, there is that. And yeah, I reckon that is pretty much it for this video. So I will see you next video. Bye.